Okay, well, everybody, hello. Barbara Talisman from Where's Babs. Welcome. I have some huge travel news for you, both imminent and far out, that I'm going to share with you later. We were in Ecuador a couple of days ago, and we are heading to, where are we heading to? Lima. So we're very excited. We have 2 days in Lima, and I'll tell you why we have 2 days in Lima and what I plan to do with it. And I'm going to answer your questions. I've got some great photographs around the ship, focused on some food because I'm a kind of foodie person. And so that's what we're going to cover today. And I am on the Sapphire Princess. We are on day 11 of 50 that I will be on, 50 plus. And I'm going to just jump right into it and welcome everybody to Where's Babs Live from the Sapphire Princess. Marsha, can you let me know? I'm assuming you can hear and see me, and that maybe the audio and the video is working better than it was last time. We can hope. Yes, mute is off. Good. So put your questions into chat. You can ask me travel questions. You can ask me questions about where we are and where we're going, whatever you'd like to see. So whatever works for you. So I'm glad it's working better than last time. This is live number 4 for me, so I appreciate your patience. Okay. So yesterday we were in Ecuador, Manta, Ecuador, and I've never been, as I've said before, to any place that I'm going on this cruise ship. So I'm very excited every time we get off the ship. And we formed a great little tour group and saw some wonderful, wonderful, it's such an eco-friendly and ecologically rich community and country and city. So I have some pictures that I'm going to share with you as well, and give you a little idea of what we did there. So let me do that while we're starting off, and let me see if I can get this going for us so I can show you these. There we go. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see that fine. Oh, I know. Wait, I know what I want to do. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I have an idea what I want to do here so that you get really good pictures. There we go. Let me do it this way. Okay. Okay, that may not work. Hold on a second. I'm going to get there. We're going to get it right. StreamYard and I are still learning to be. There we go. Okay, so this is in the port of Manta. I was hoping I could make this full size, but I haven't quite mastered that yet. And we're in Ecuador. So when you come into the port, there's a beautiful brand new terminal, all air conditioned, Wi-Fi'd up. There's a little coffee stand and some shops. And these gentlemen were welcoming us with their native indigenous music. And it was really lovely to have it while we were waiting for all of our tours to form up and that sort of thing. So it was a really lovely welcome into Ecuador for sure. And then we went right to the fish market. It's Sunday. We're there on a Sunday, the fish market. Tuna, huge tuna boats in Ecuador going out and bringing back fresh tuna. So this was one of the fishermen, and there was tuna, large and small tuna, ahi, yellowtail, all over. And this was part of our tour group. Juan, our tour leader, was just wonderful. Really, really great guy. Knows a lot about Ecuador and really is very proud of his country. The crabs, look at the color on those crabs. They were just, I've never seen them looking like that. And everyone was saying they were just wonderful. On the other side of the fish market, you could buy whatever you wanted raw, and then they would cook it for you. So it was just beautiful. And then I've never seen a wooden ship being built. Have you? And I have barely seen some of our naval vessels being built undercover. So this is a boat yard in Manta, right next to the fish market. And this is a wooden boat that is being built for purpose. And the purpose is to be big enough to tow smaller fishermen out deep into the water and far away from land to catch the really big fish. And so that's what those are being built for. And there are other couple of boats in port for repairs, but you could see like all of the notches and the screws were putting that were put into this wood in order to make this frame that we're looking at. And then this is peanut butter. Peanuts are native to Ecuador, and so they grind it fresh, and then they put some specialty items into it. And this is a real, we didn't get to taste it. It's a little hot sweet. So you have the peanuts and then a little hot on it. That's our ship and port. So it's very interesting. This is an older ship, 2008 or 9, I think, refurbished in 2016. Don't quote me on that. I'm sorry. I should have looked that up. But that's what I'm used to a cruise ship looking like, 2,200 people on board plus crew. And as you know, some of these mega ships that are coming out are 5,000 people plus. There are some that are now coming out for 7,000 people, which I think is a little crazy. And so this is what I think of when I think of a boat in port, and it's a very small port with a very big boat. So I think we probably overwhelm a little bit when we show up. So we went to the Pacoche Reserve and Refuge, holler monkeys, and many flora and fauna that I'll show you, as well as birds, lots of birds. They're very fast, so I didn't get a lot of pictures. And this is my friend Lynn, who I'll tell you about later. And she was on the tour with us. And Lynn and I were actually on Majestic Princess from Sydney to LA. That's how we met. And I didn't even know she was going to be on the ship. And Reed, who was another friend of mine from the Majestic, we turned a corner on the Sapphire Princess that we're on, and there was Lynn. So we kind of had a little reunion, which has been great. This was next to the Reserve. Fresh fire and fresh sausages and a little restaurant right next door. And that was our indigenous tour guide. He knows everything about the rainforest that we were walking through and the animals and the flora, fauna in it. It was a really great tour. And so this is a top of a tree. Obviously, we're in a rainforest, right? And I would say probably 8 stories tall. So really tall. But you see all that blue space above it, the sky, right? Oh, wrong one. So let me see here. No, maybe I didn't put it in here. So at the bottom, have you guys heard of walking trees? So this tree will seek out light. And there's a female and a male tree together. They're intertwined. And the roots come probably like what you would consider knee high. And it can actually move in order to seek more light. And so Juan had told us that this had probably moved about a foot in the last year. It was getting closer and closer to the path that we were on. But as long as it's got blue sky above it, it'll stay where it is for a while. So it's pretty remarkable. Isn't Mother Nature amazing? These are gourds. This is what you might see native bowls and spoons and knives and forks made out of, or platters. So it's green now, and it comes down, and when they peel off the green, it's hard brown shell. And then they carve it and polish it and use it for utensils. This is a bird of paradise, which we're probably used to, but they turn into bananas here in Ecuador. And this red right here collects water and is helpful to the hummingbirds and other birds that use it sort of as a little bird bath. And inside are these green pods that will then turn into bananas. So it starts here and then grows from there. And this is just Juan we had 2 Juans explaining to us about the rainforest and where we were. We were told you don't touch anything, you don't pick up anything, you can't take anything with you, you can't harm any animal in this reserve. And the idea of not touching is because things there, and he showed it to us, can kill you just by touching it. So then we went off to El Faro, which is a lighthouse. Beautiful. It's right here on the Pacific Ocean. And that's Lynn and I overlooking. The coastline is absolutely phenomenal, and many beaches available and clear blue waters. And it's hard to tell. I mean, you kind of see the variations in the blue water there, but it was just stunning, really beautiful, and a perfect day, really nice day. And then we went to, I want to get this right, Playa Santa Marinata for lunch. And this was our view over the playa, over the beach. And these are little blue tents that folks rent when they're out sunning and swimming. But our tour guide, Tom, who you'll see in a moment, also said they're very famous for after you've been out partying too long and you just rent one and you sleep in it all night. This is a great little ice cream truck outside the restaurant. I just thought it was adorable. And this is Alan, who actually suggested that we all go on this tour. So I joined him. He had posted it, I mentioned on the last live about the roll calls. So Alan and I are both on the December 1 to 19th and 19th to January 4th roll calls on Facebook. And he posted a lot of links to a couple of the tours that he was going to be taking. And I just signed up because I thought that was great. And then we ended up having lunch together at this wonderful restaurant called Fish on the Playa. And that's Lynn again. She had some amazing fresh grilled squid. I mean, octopus, like right out of the ocean. Those are my tacos. They were so good, shrimp tacos. And then that's Tom and Alexa. So Tom was our tour guide, and we just had a lovely time. He is a Brit who has lived in Ecuador for 14 years, and he loves it. Panama hats. So
stamping in different styles, different shapes. But the weaving they normally do out in the countryside, they collect the palm stalks.
Yeah.
And then they extract fibers from them. That's different size fibers, different types.
So she's there weaving. That is the traditional stance that they take when they are weaving these hats. The idea of the Ecuador hats, which became Panama hats because someone took them from Ecuador to Panama, and President Roosevelt showed up in Panama for a talk and put one on, and they became Panama hats. But they're really made in Ecuador, just so we're clear on that. And they're beautiful, and they have different weaves depending on how thin or how thick the reeds are that they're braiding. And so they have higher value the thinner they are, and a little lower value the thicker they are. And then this is the hat press. So right in here, the hat goes with a mold inside, and you clamp it down with heat and weight, and that's what forms the brim and the fold in the hat that you see. And then this is the church, the main church in Manta. And then this is Elio Alfaro, who is the father of liberating Ecuador. And he was alive from 1842 to 1942, 100 years, and is what Ecuadorians consider the person who freed Ecuador and allowed them to be their best selves without having a sovereign nation over them. Sunset in Ecuador was beautiful, right off the ship, and look at that beach. That's what I love about being at sea, the beaches and the water and the sunsets. And then the sky just turned this gorgeous, gorgeous color. So it's just really beautiful. Fishing fleet out off the bow of the ship. And then you come home from a very hot day, and you can watch the football. Football is on tonight, actually, started at 8:15 Eastern time, and will go till about 11 o'clock tonight on this huge screen at the pool deck. And I have to tell you, it was a kind of fun place to watch. They have lounge chairs and popcorn and blankets if you want them, and they put pads on the lounge chairs. And I'm not necessarily a big football fan, and I don't have a team, but watching after a long day, and I kind of jumped in the pool and cooled off, and it was a nice end to the day, I have to tell you. A little ice cream cone. And then this is I'm just going to show you around the ship a little bit. So breakfast, these women were speaking Farsi and FaceTiming with family at home, and it's a whole group and a whole family. You meet so many different people on board. It's wonderful. And we're celebrating Hanukkah on board because we should. And then this is the general gathering place on board. It is the piazza, and it's probably 4 stories high, I think. 5 stories high. And so this is the 5th floor here, and they do dancing and live music. The International Cafe is here. Lots of photographs being taken down on the steps, very entrance kind of thing. And then these are elevator banks on either side. But lots of people meet there. I'll meet you in the piazza. And then this is the International Cafe. And you can come down here anytime and grab a snack or a cookie or a dessert. Most of it is free, and I'll show you. So really serious barista here, making some really great coffee. So there are packages on Princess. There's a plus package, and I think it's called a premier package, and I always forget which is which. And one gives you Wi-Fi packet. It comes with Wi-Fi, your gratuities for the crew members, a drinks package at different levels, some free specialty restaurants. So 2 specialty restaurants that you would normally, that you would normally have to pay for. And then some other goodies. So if you don't have a package, you can get an espresso or Americano for $3 or a chocolate cookie latte for $4. And some of these are iced. So it's not that expensive. And so I am not a big drinker of either alcoholic or non-alcoholic. I'm a kind of water drinker. So sometimes I'll go down and get a hot chocolate. I also brought my tea. So these guys will bring nice big teapots with hot water, and we'll make chai tea down there. So it's not expensive, but it's a great place to get some coffee. And then they'll always have a hot soup if you want to get that, and that's free. You can help yourself. And then they have these cabinets full of all sorts of goodies. There's sandwiches and sweets that you can have, and they'll just warm them up for you and serve them. And you can have them instead of lunch or in addition to lunch or whatever. No one's judging. And then this is the dessert case. All sorts of, and it changes every day. Actually, the sandwiches stay about the same, but the desserts a slice. They're huge. They're like 10 layers, and you see the price there. And if you have the package, you can get them for free. And then the Good Spirits Bar, they have a wonderful program here where they are teaching you how to make specialty drinks. And it's a kind of fun place to sit and just enjoy watching some entertainment while the bartenders are doing their thing. We also have a art gallery and an art auction on board. Some of you may know that if you cruise, and they bring in all sorts of kinds of arts. And this is the art gallery that you can walk through at any time and just take a look. Today, they had the auction yesterday. They have a number of auctions, but they had one yesterday. So a lot of them had sold signs on them, and they were very varied kind of art to buy. So that's always a nice little walkthrough to see. So it's just part of the ship. I don't want to give it all away at one time. So I just wanted to say, share a little bit about the ship with you. Now, the other thing that's going on about this going into Lima for 2 days, there's a couple things going on. Princess has land tours. So if you go up to Alaska, you can get off the ship and rejoin the ship. And the same thing here in South America. So there are a number of people who are getting off in Lima. We're there for 2 days. And they will go to see Machu Picchu and then rejoin the ship in Pisco. So it's not all included. They paid extra for that. I heard it was $3,000 a person. I think that's what it was. And they fly them from Lima to Cusco. You do a day in Cusco, and you go up and you see Machu Picchu, and then you fly back from Cusco to you may fly. I don't know if it's Cusco, Lima, and Lima, Pisco. I'm not sure. But we have determined our own little plan, a couple of us on board. So let me see if I can share this with you. See if that'll work. Okay. So you put in here Lima to Huacachina. So this is an opportunity on, where are we? On the 13th. Yeah, the 13th and 14th of December, we're in Lima. So the first day, my friend Roger has arranged a wonderful tour for us, starting at 11 and finishing at 10:30 at night, with dinner and some beautiful Peruvian horses doing their dressage. And a couple of us have decided to stay in Lima that night and go on to Huacachina and pick up the boat in Pisco. So we go on to Friendly Aviator and we put in Lima to Huacachina, and what do you have? And there are many tours that you can take, half-day trips, day trips, whatever you would like to do. We decided to do this one, which is, so it's Ica and Huacachina. Huacachina is the only desert in South America. So let me just show you. So we will, Balestas is off the coast of Pisco? I think so, Pisco. And they say it's like a mini Galapagos. So we'll get on a motorboat for a couple of hours and go out and see the wildlife off the shore there in the Pacific. And let me see, is this gonna? It includes a lot of stuff. I always leaving it 5. Okay, Islas Balestas, Balestas. 50 species of animals, sea lions, penguins, tour the sea. So that'll be 2 hours. And then we go to El Catador, Nieto and Catador Winery to try the pisco drink, which is, wonderful liqueur that they make here in South America. And then Huacachina is a desert with a beautiful oasis in the middle of it. So we're going to be staying overnight in Lima, getting this tour in the morning, first thing on Thursday morning. And then we're going to stop the tour in Huacachina, and we've booked a hotel room right in the desert on the in the oasis. And then we'll get a cab or car service from Huacachina back to Pisco, which is where the ship will be waiting for us on the 15th and won't leave port until 5 o'clock. So we're going to do this little side trip, and you're kind of doing dune buggies up the sand dunes and surfboards down the sand dunes. And so we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, there are like 2 or 3 of us going. I'm not sure everybody who's going yet. And we have to let the ship know that we won't be getting back on board when they depart from Lima, that we'll pick them up in Pisco, and they give us our passports back and all of that good stuff. But Viator is a really great source, and I'll actually put a link in the show description when we're all done here. So that's one of the exciting things that we've added on to our South American tour. Let me see here. All right, what else? I just want to check and see what else I want to tell you. So Lima for 2 days, Pisco, and then we're going to meet the ship. Great. So a little bit of big news for you. Oh, let's say hi to everybody. Hello, everybody. So good to see you. So glad you could join. So some big news. Lynn, who you met, and I knew from 30 Days at Sea and Majestic, decided to go into the future cruise office. She actually picked up some cruises. She had thought about some cruises that she wanted to do, and we started talking about it. And the solo travel thing is really great, and I enjoy it. But we both know, Lynn's solo and I'm solo, and we both know it's a little cheaper and can be a lot cheaper if we share a cabin. So we have decided to go. This is the big news. Couple of things. One, they're big trips. 2, I have never planned this far in advance. I'm very excited about it, but I have never planned this far in advance. And so she and I are going to take some mammoth trips. Let me share this with you. Hopefully that will work. There we go. Okay. All right. First one up, Japan, Voyage of the Glaciers and Grand Adventure. This is in April 27th. We will probably see the cherry blossoms, which has been on my list for a long time. So we're going to cruise a little bit around Tokyo and then head trans-Pacific over to Vancouver and Whittier and Anchorage, which I haven't seen in a long time. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's April to May. Then my job is actually to find us our cruising to Iceland and Svalbard and the Arctic Circle and maybe some Sweden and Estonia. So we're going to try and figure out what we're going to do this summer, because then in the fall, we are going to head from San Francisco back over to Sydney on a different route than we took when we went from Sydney to LA. So I'm kind of excited about it. Hopefully we'll get into Maui this time, because it was before the fire in Maui, but we skipped it on the way over. Looking forward to getting back to Tahiti and Moorea especially. And there's more of New Zealand than we saw on the trip over. So I'm excited about that as well. So that will be in September. And then we stay on the same ship and we go all the way, all the way around Australia. So I'm very excited about that. So as you know, I've lived in Australia. I went to college in Australia for a little bit, and I worked there, and I was just there last summer. And I'm looking forward to it. I have seen most of these major cities, but I haven't seen Broome. Broome has been on my list, and I was not there during the right time of year to go. And this whole Kimberley coast up to Darwin. I took it from Adelaide to Uluru in the middle, and then up to Darwin by train. But I didn't get to see the coastline. And so I'm very excited about this upper coastline, especially. Jeff and I, my ex and I, actually went to Cairns and the Great Barrier Reef many years ago. And the Margaret River is just fabulous, vineyards and wine. And Hobart has an amazing modern museum called the MoMA that I've been dying to get into. So we will be on the road for quite some time. These are all, let me see, I want to say 21 days, 31 days, and 33 days. And we're just really excited about it. And it gives us an opportunity to spend some more time together, meet new people. It's very fun. I mean, you may, think that you're sort of on a ship and you're alone, and you're not going to meet people and all that stuff. And it couldn't be further from the truth. So it's just a wonderful opportunity, and we're really looking forward to it. And I've met such great people on board here. I mean, the people on the tour to Pacoche, I knew some of them, but didn't know all of them. I put a tour together for Lima, and I know most of those people that we're doing on the 13th. And then you just meet people, and everybody's just lovely. As I said, there are a lot of solo people on board. There are a lot of couples, and it's just been great. Tonight is elegant night, and a lot of people are getting off in Santiago. So this is their last chance to dress up. So they were quite dressed today. Yes. And Sonia, you should hop on one of these with us. We'd love to see you, Sonia. So these all ran, Marcia was asking what the cost was of these. They all ran each per person about $3,000. So it's 30 days. We solo folks view anything under $100 a day, or 100 or under, is a good price. So that's where we're at on that one. And I think I'm getting these mixed up. I think it's 21, 31, and 33 days. And I don't remember which. We literally just booked these like yesterday. And so we're very excited about it. So that was my big news. Solo traveling, moving into in April, a non-solo traveler, but with another solo traveler. And we'll be doing some more. And I'm hoping that Lynn will come on for my podcast, and we can talk about how she travels and what she loves about travel. And she's got some great tips too. And I got to tell you something. This woman knows how to pack. She says she overpacks, but I don't even think that's the case. I think she has one suitcase, and we'll discover that on the podcast. And just beautiful clothes, nothing wrinkles. And she just looks, it's not that she looks too fancy. She just looks put together. I mean, even when we went out to Pacoche, I told her, I said, I need to take lessons from you, honey, because I did not pack well for this trip. I'm going to tell you, I didn't bring shorts. I have like a t-shirt. I dumped stuff in Las Vegas that I should have taken with me because I was so concerned about the cold and how much I was carrying. So I'm going to be finding a thrift shop in Lima and see what I can find. Need a couple skirts and a couple pairs of shorts, I think. Anyway, that's sort of where we are, and I wanted to share that with you. And yes, Sonia, I'm looking forward to seeing you. And around Australia has always been a dream of mine. I've seen the interior and gone and traveled by plane, but I'm looking forward to seeing it by ship too. There's just some places that are easy to get to by ship in Australia, right? Right, Sonia? It's a big place. But if you have any questions about the ship, or anything that you'd like me to answer, please put them in the chat. I don't want to keep you too long tonight. And I'm glad the video and the audio are working. Yay! Number 4, we got there. And there are a lot of videos on my channel. So please feel free to take a look. There are playlists about solo traveling and traveling on a budget, and how I lived for free in Puerto Vallarta. So there are a lot of opportunities to learn about what I've been doing for the last 2.5 years as a solo retired nomad without a home, and living relatively rent-free, and house sitting all over the place. So I'm just really glad to share this with you. And yes, these are all Princess cruises. We happen to be on board, so we're doing that. But I am not exclusive to Princess, except in this particular instance. And some of the places we want to go, Princess is not going. There is an advantage to the loyalty programs, just like on an airline loyalty. There are advantages to being loyal to one cruise line, but they're not all the same. They don't all have the same benefits, and we can talk about that on the next live, maybe. So I think that we're going to stick with these for now. There's also a future cruise program that they have going that I'll talk about the next time. But I think that I've given you enough for this evening to think about. It's been a great trip, and I'm looking forward to the next 40 days ahead that we have. And people were getting off in Santiago. A few people were getting on, and we hear the rumor is 200 kids are getting on because it's a Christmas cruise. There have been very few kids on board right now, but that's okay. And then a lot of people will be getting off in Buenos Aires in January, and more people will be getting on to go back the other way with me. But I really want to thank you for listening and for being with me this evening. Check out those other videos. This will be on replay, so you can share it with your friends. And I wish you a good night, and thanks so much for coming. Thanks, everybody. Sonia, you should join us on the Round Australia. Thanks, everybody.